Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
Can you share more findings from your report with us before we settle for some specifics?
Okay, so the global supply chain has seen some disruption over the few months. We've seen supply chain disruption in the areas of logistics and also a major component of what we do or what we otherwise use here in Ghana to produce chicken. We've seen rising costs of corn, millet, wheat, wheat bran, and several others. We've seen prices shot up tremendously with regards to the feed additives, which is lysine, methionine, potassium, amino, the immune boosters, the vitamins, and all that. So this has heavily contributed towards some shortages in the industry, and we are looking to see how such shortages could be mitigated. But the current major challenges on the high sea, especially with traffic of containers that are currently stacked up on the major high sea, is a major concern now, and how some of these containers could get to their destination by the time the Yuletide gets in. So for us, we have profiled some major importers of frozen chicken and also producers of local indigenous hard chicken, both broilers and layers. And we realized that there is a likelihood of some shortages.
Am I getting the impression that your report is telling us the local producers do not have the capacity to more or less address these supply chain disruptions? And I see it's more of an opportunity presented to them when we cannot import for them to produce and meet demand.
Yes, that's true. Currently, Ghana is the biggest trade partner when it comes to poultry meat with regards to the European Union. As of February this year, down to June, we have done almost 480,000 metric tons of imported frozen chicken. We import quite a lot from US and also from Brazil. Now, the increase in the feed additive has hampered on productivity on the local poultry industry. For instance, the price of maize, which used to be 70 to 80 Ghana cedis for 50 kg, is now being sold at 140, 150 for the same size. So, and maize constitutes about 60 to 70% of feed additives, of feed products that we do. So, after June, a number of poultry producers have to downsize most of the layers that they have so that they can be able to procure the feed and feed the remaining of the layers. And most of the spent layers have also been sold out. Okay, currently we are mopping up in the north and some other parts of the OT region. Okay, so it's a struggle as we speak. We have consistently been humming on this fact that there is a need for serious government intervention and also that of the financial institutions, but nobody seems to be giving us the ear to listen very well. And you see, as a country, we import more than 10 million day-old chicks annually. This is excluding the data from Doma Enclave, where about 2 million or 3 million plus comes in from Ivory Coast. The ones from Burkina Faso are not within the 10 million plus. So we have a potential to develop this industry. In fact, this country is the largest sector employer. Okay, so we need to look at this industry very well. Look, we consume more than 2 million eggs annually in the country. Okay, even that is lower because the standard for egg consumption per country, Ghana, is very low. So there is an enormous investment opportunity, an industry that has what it takes to make our country and economy very strong and robust.
So if I get you right, as it stands now, there is nothing we can do, maybe any sort of urgent measure that the state could adopt to address this problem so that we don't find shortages during Christmas for people to celebrate and celebrate well?
Well, government in the budget stated they were going to distribute 2 million day-old checks. Now, if we are going to do broadlet takes to 5 to 6 weeks. We are 2 weeks to Christmas. By end of January, if government is able to supply this day-old chicks, we should be able to have some chicks, poultry feed coming in by end of January. But if this is not the case, then it's actually going to have a major challenge on the industry.
Thank you so much for your time. Anthony Morrison is the Chief Executive of Chamber of Agribusiness and has been helping us to understand the impact of the potential impact of the looming shortage when it comes to chicken. And of course, a few weeks to Christmas is a worrying development. We also have on the line the National President of the Ghana Poultry Farmers Association, Mr. Victor upon AJ. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. From where I sit, I see an opportunity for the local poultry industry once importation of poultry products is a challenge. Is that the case?
The number you are trying to reach is...
We seem to be having a bit of a challenge with the line. We'll try to raise Mr. Victor back on the line to say if you can hear me. I was asking whether it's not an opportunity that has been presented to local producers once importation of poultry products is a bit of a challenge.
Thank you very much. I think this information has come at the wrong time because it doesn't take a week or two to produce the chicken. Even the broilers will take about 8 weeks, which is 2 months. So if you have that information now, there's nothing you can do about it, except that we've also prepared ourselves to serve the Ghanaian market with the local chicken.
Well, we already know that the demand for poultry and poultry products is very high in the country. You waited for an opportunity of this sort to present itself before you may want to produce to meet demand. Why weren't you doing so even before this challenge came about?
Well, you see, this year, Ghanaian farmers have been operating at a very difficult environment and conditions. The feed inputs have been very difficult for us to. The availability of feed inputs has been very difficult. We were some time back not even getting maize for the birds. So it has continued to now. Now that the new maize has been harvested and the prices is coming down, but I think it will not come as low as what we were buying last year. Because last year, a 50 kilo weight was just 65 cedis. And this year, it went up to 160 cedis, which is over 250%. Now that we are buying it at 130 and 140. So it has not been easy for the Ghanaian farmers this year, but we are still managing to serve the public.
So looking at this, the strength of your members, you think you cannot meet the demand if Christmas sets in and we still have not been able to resolve the issues relating to the importation of poultry products? Your members cannot produce to meet the demand?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we are still managing to produce whatever we can produce. We are going to serve meet the demand of the Ghanaians. But what I was saying is that from January to now, it has been very difficult for the Ghanaian farmer operating in a very difficult environment and conditions. Because if your raw material is increased over 250%, and you yourself, you cannot increase your end product, it becomes very difficult for you. So many farmers have been running losses. Some sold their birds prematurely. You know, the lifespan of a layer is about 90 weeks, but some were selling at 30 weeks, which was not the best. we are trying our possible best to set the market.
In the context of this report, are you going to engage your members to get them to more or less ramp up production so that you may meet the, increase in demand?
Well, it's not as easy as you are saying because you have to look for the day-old chicks, and even raising the bears will take you about 8 weeks. So you can never meet the Christmas demand. But what I'm saying is that we still have a reserve that can serve the public this year. Although we cannot take advantage of whatever is going on to produce. But we still prepared ourselves to serve the market.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Victor Oponeje is the national president, Ghana Association of Poultry Farmers. We will try to establish connection with our correspondent in the northern region who has also been following up, engaging the farmers directly as to the opportunity has been presented to them. But let's go to a different story. We'll come back to that because we're having a challenge establishing connection. Oh, we have the correspondent on the line. Mutala, thank you so much for your time. You've heard the concerns of the poultry farmers since morning when you started engaging them. What have they been telling you, and how do they see the opportunity presented to them ahead of Christmas?
It is unfortunate our poultry farmers here will not be able to meet the demand. Even though this is an opportunity presented to them ahead of Christmas, but you know, it doesn't take 2 weeks or 3 weeks to rear broilers or even layers, let alone to dispose of these layers after they have laid eggs for a period of time. What they are saying is that this opportunity should not be allowed to go in the coming months. They are urging government to come to their aid, support them. One of the key highlights I think for most of the farmers I've interacted with today is the fact that they have challenges with feed. Two things: the feed is too expensive and it is not easily available. And that even if you are able to get feed and you go out there to provide to your animals, at the end of the day, you are not able to even break even. And so they are kept at bay. I met this journalist who ventured into the poultry industry recently, and he was compelled into selling his birds recently at a ridiculous price of 12 cedis and 13 cedis because he could no more afford feed. He was trying to raise some layers, about 600 layers, but unfortunately, because of feed, he had to just dispose them off.